26th of August 2024. Just wrapping up this weekend was the fourth annual Invest Festival, hosted once again here in Atlanta. Um, for anybody that has any, questions or is wondering, you know, was it worth it? Uh, Given my honest opinion, because this was my first Invest Festival that I attended. So, with my honest opinion, for me, was it worth it? I would say yes. Now, is it something that I would attend every single year that they have it? Probably not. But the reason why I say this year it was, and why I probably wouldn't attend every year that they host this festival, is because the overall intent behind everything, the event itself, the energy that comes with it, the people that comes with it, the entrepreneurial spirit that you feel in the air that comes with it, I will say that that is worth it. And this is coming from someone who I do not have a business. I'm not a business owner. I don't intend on ever, you know, starting a business or owning a business. But who knows? Things could change. Um, right now, I just invest my money in the stocks and I exercise stock options and maneuver through the stock market. That's my focus, my goal for right now, just me personally. However, I know you probably think, well, if you just do stocks and focus on the stock market, why did you come here? Me, what I saw, and just from seeing previous clips of the previous Invest festivals that they had within the last few years, seeing the atmosphere online and everything, the thing that I grasped from it that kind of stuck with me was that if I come here, I might run into somebody, somebody that might be important, or, it could just be something from a simple 10-minute conversation from one of the guests on stage, or it could just be something simple as a 2-minute conversation that I'm overhearing in the lobby while I'm getting food that, is going to play out to be the catalyst that changes how I conduct myself financially and operationally. So I probably had a little bit more optimism than what your average person would have coming to this event. So I mean, it wasn't really anything for me. And to follow on with that, you'd probably ask, well, okay, if that was your thinking prior to attending, what actually occurred out of the 3 days that you attended the festival? Because it's always been 3 days. So the first day I missed because I had some personal issues going on. So the first day was completely a wash. I wasn't here at all on Friday. I missed the guest speakers, all the guest speakers that they had. I had just purchased general admissions tickets, so I didn't have VIP tickets. From my understanding, if you had VIP tickets, they had what they call VIP night. Um, with VIP night, they revealed some I guess some high level information, and then they also had Shannon Sharp, who was the guest speaker, also giving out some gems. Now, I leave you with I only attended this festival for a solid 2 days, and out of the 2 days, I probably wasn't even there for the entire duration because I believe the festival every day it starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then they cut it off at 10 p.m. at night. So I was getting down there probably like around maybe in the afternoon, 11, 12 ish. So, but was it worth it for me this weekend? Just to, because I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but just to come back to it, was it worth it this weekend for me? And did any of those things that I was speculating happen? I will say absolutely 100% yes. Now, once again, completely unexpected, strong chance that nothing like this would have occurred, but it's just how everything that I was lined, it's just the way things happen. So I actually did meet somebody And I always tell this story to anybody that asks me about, just like my trading journey. So, just a quick backstory to that. I've been on my stock market journey as far as trading options for the past 2 years. Now, just being in the stock market altogether, I've been in the stock market since March 2020, around the time where they had this the initial crash. Now, I had already been trying to get in the market prior to that. I think a couple years before then, but the brokerage firms and the brokerage accounts, it wasn't as easy as to get as it is now, to where you could just download it to your phone. You got Robinhood, E-Trade, Webull, all of these other brokerages. It wasn't like that back in like 2016, 2017, or at least I didn't know about it. So yeah, I've been in the game for about that long, but the thing that had recently occurred that was like a pivotal moment for me was uh, you'll hear different people say different things. For me to teach myself options, and granted, this was a multitude of different things, as far as between me reading books, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, and just cross-referencing information as much as I can, going through different Google websites. Around the time that I was doing this, because mind you, we're in the 26th of August 2020, 2 years prior to this, Chat GPT was not as popping as everybody sees it to be now. I don't even think you were able to download. I don't even think they deployed the application for it in the Apple Store for it, so you couldn't even get it. So because I didn't have Chat GPT at the time, and because I was unaware of that type of software, and I didn't have accessibility to it, what I would have to do is to ask Google a question and then go through and just cross-reference different websites, and then try to bring all of the information pages that I had got together, and then start to see what matched, what went together, what didn't. So that was the struggle itself. But moving forward, I would say for me, particularly with all of that, granted, yes, even when you're teaching yourself something, you're still going to see if there's anybody else out in the world doing it, because you might be able to get some answers. You might be able to see some of their mistakes, and you might be able to go back, remix whatever strategy that you have seen, and make it work for yourself. So with doing that, the last critical piece of information that I received was from somebody that I had just met. We went to school together early this year in March, and found out that he was also getting his feet wet in the stock market and with options and things like that. So, I mean, that was great for him and myself, because now, we had each other to bounce ideas off of. And granted, I was on my journey as far as learning how to options trade longer than he was. This is how the universe works out. Even though he was he was new to it compared to the part of the journey that I was on, because I had been on that journey for going almost on years. But this is why I say 21 months. Around that period, in that time frame, when I told him that I was going to execute a certain option, because it just came to me out of nowhere one day, and I don't know why I didn't think of it before, but I was like, versus doing a call with an expiration date that has maybe like an expiration date of 30 days, or versus doing a call with an expiration date of 90 days, I was like, I'm going to do my best to go and purchase a call option that doesn't expire until like 9 months to a year out. So up until that point, I was a little skeptical about it, just because I was like, that concept just seemed a little bit weird, because if you don't know, depending on the company and the sector of the option that you're buying in, that's going to dictate the price. And then also depending on the delta, the strike price that you're going after, that's also going to depict how much one option is going to cost you. So for me, this one particular option that initially I was not looking at until I had went through and I started comparing the delta, the theta, um, seeing what the expiration was, looking at what the implied volatility was and the interest on it was. It wasn't until then to where I was like, oh, okay, I can go ahead and I can purchase one of these call options, but only one. Not how, when people get to a level to where they're purchasing 5, 10, some people purchasing 50, making $10,000 in 2 minutes. Wasn't on this level yet. I thought I'd be on that level 2 years ago, around the time frame that I started. But I found the company that I was going to get into. Now, I know a lot of people say ETFs, but you have to keep in mind that up until this point, and even now, every single day, I watched Bloomberg News, or if I watched Squawk Box, I watched whatever financial news channel that I could watch. And then I also went on YouTube to see clips of different news blogs and sites and things like that. So I promised myself that I would watch all of that and take all of that in until I completely understood it, and to where I got to a point to where I could understand the trends. So I'm looking at the companies, and around this time frame, because I've been following the market for 2 years, I see that there was a great buying opportunity for a chip company by the name of NVIDIA. Now, NVIDIA was one of the last companies on my mind when it came to purchasing this call option that was going to be anywhere between 9 to 12 months out of the year as far as expiration goes. Last thing that on my mind, I was looking at everything else. I was looking at Apple, I was looking at Amazon, I was looking at Tesla, but just analyzing everything, I was like, Tesla is too volatile for me. Apple, it seems like it has those periods to where it's just stagnant for a long time, and then out of nowhere it'll pop like anywhere between $7 to $12 or higher. And then Amazon, I wanted Amazon, but at the time frame, as far as how the chart was set up, the overall structure of the chart, I was like, I'm going to hold off on that. I'm not going to jump into it immediately. But the one that had the best setup was NVIDIA. So I forgot what had happened that day, but it was probably about a month and a half ago, to where the entire market had started going down and going down quickly, to a point to where I believe the VIX that day had rose to about like 65, and we're talking about like $14 to $65, which is something that I had never seen before. And I think the S&P 500 fell maybe about like 4 or 5% that day, if not throughout that week. So as you hear the term, buy the dip, I saw NVIDIA going down in price along with the rest of the market. I think SPY got up to about 550, dropped down to 530. I was looking at NVIDIA's chart, and I believe I saw it approaching down towards the 100-day moving average. So, and I saw prior to that, NVIDIA had bounced off of the 50-day moving average. So I was like, just thinking, if it went down to 50-day average and it bounced, now it's going down to the 100-day average, more than likely it's going to bounce from there, because it was still holding its resistance and its support above that 200-day moving average. So I was thinking, okay, this might be a safe bet, buying off of that moving average. So the price was trading around $103 and I think 55 cents. As soon as it hit that price, I went ahead and I purchased one NVIDIA call option. It had a $90 strike price. It was at $103. That was the other thing too that came along the journey, understanding that the majority of the time, depending on which stock you're going to go after, it's always a safe bet or best practice to, whatever the current trading price is, go at least $10 below that. And then that's going to go ahead and be your strike price. That's going to act as your strike price. Because around that level too, it should also align with the delta, and that delta should be around $70. At least $70. Up until that point, I was buying at the money options, which for my case, it was not good. At the money is more so for the short term. So if you're one of those people that wants to go ahead and add some calls or some puts right before earnings, at the money's probably going to be your best bet. But for me, I planned on holding anywhere close to a year, 9 months, close to a year. So the other thing that had came along with that too was picking something to where my options premium won't decay the value of my option at that time frame. Now, that was a segue. Yeah, short story, but that's the option that I had got into. But the information as far as where to get in at, as far as choosing my delta, I didn't have that last piece of critical information. I ended up getting that last piece of critical information from my classmate. And he had told me that one day when I was out in the parking lot. And then after he had told me later on, after I went home that night, I started looking up just other videos and other people mentioning that same thing. And I ended up seeing multiple people saying it the same exact way, damn near, and then explaining it damn near the same way that I just explained it to you. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I went to the guy's page that he told me about, a man by the name of Chris Sane. So I was on Chris Sane's page, a well-known trader, at least in the YouTube channel, in the YouTube sphere, and has a strong foundation, has a strong, group of supporters behind him, because he's very meticulous with his trades that he chooses to pick. But man of the name by Chris Sane was the guy that he had heard, my classmate had heard that information from because he was watching one of his videos. So after I had watched Chris Sane's video just to feel out like what kind of trader he was, what his philosophies were when it came to looking at the stock market, that's when I went ahead and I caught myself. I started watching one video, another video, and a few other videos after that, and I was just like, okay, I like what he's talking about. I'm thinking similar things that he's talking about. And the other thing that had me watch him too was that my classmate would come to me, because he was telling me about this first, but I had never did it. But he was like, hey, bruh, everything, he's like, when you tell me something, he posts a video later on, and it's damn near adjacent information. He's like, y'all saying the same damn thing. So that was the other thing too that had drew me to his site. I was like, okay, well, if I'm saying the same thing, he's saying the same thing. And mind you, my classmate, he believes it and he knows it because I'm sending him text messages or we talking on the phone, and then Chris saying he's not posting until like a day or two later. So that's how he knew that, I wasn't BSing. I wasn't able to pull this information from anyone else. This is just, what I was seeing at the time and viewing at the time of what was happening in the market. But that's what had gravitated me towards towards Chris Sane's YouTube channel. And when I was out here at investfest, didn't sleep well. I don't know if it was the mattress or whatever, but I woke up late. Had to take my meds, all that other stuff. Had to eat and whatnot. Went down there. I was like, damn, I'm missing investfest right now. I probably missed out on an opportunity to meet somebody I was supposed to meet. I had lunch on the 5th floor here inside the Signia Hotel by Hilton. They have a nice restaurant down there. Had sat down to a group of gentlemen who I believe they had all diverse careers. One of them, I believe he was in the NFL, just based off of the conversation that I was hearing and listening to. But so hear that, I'm thinking, okay, well, that was an interesting conversation. Granted, I wasn't a part of it. That's what was supposed to happen to me for today. That's what I had felt like the atmosphere had for me that day. But little did I know that wasn't everything. So after that, I go out to InvestFest because for anybody who knows or whoever's been to the Signia Hotel, because right across the street from the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, I'm looking at it right now, but the Signia Hotel and the Convention Center are interconnected or connected together. It's just one big building. So as soon as you walk out of your hotel room, you go down the escalators, walk across the main lobby, and then you go through the glass, double doors, and then you make a left, walk all the way down, through the escalators and whatnot, And then bam, they got the conference rooms for the investfest center, all the vendors. You go all the way down, they got the vendor marketplace, they got all of that. So I'm just walking around the vendor marketplace, taking in the energy, the atmosphere, and just the business vibe and the business energy. Even though I didn't have any intentions on linking up with somebody to do joint business venture deals or anything like that, because like I told you, I don't have a business. I never intended on having a business or a podcast or anything like that. But yeah, so I go to the bathroom because I believe somebody was coming on to speak in the next room over, and I was like, before I head out, matter of fact, let me just go ahead. That's who it was. I believe it was they were doing the $100,000 Nipsey Hussle business grant giveaway. So shout out to the lady who won that too. But so I used the bathroom in the other side of the building, and then I'm coming out. I'm about to walk over there. I'm nowhere near there, close to the exit doors where they had like the Nipsey Hussle All Money In Brinks truck where they was selling the T-shirts out of and everything. I was still on the other side, heading over there, and then from the corner of my eye, I see somebody taking pictures with somebody, and I'm confused for a minute. I'm like, hold on, like somebody famous right there, because I ain't see no security, no nothing. So I was confused about that part. And then it wasn't until the person that was taking the picture with them had got out the way, and then they thanked them and walked off, to where I was just looking, and I was like, what? I'm like, hold on, that's Chris Saint. And that's how I said it to him. When I had walked out, I was like, Chris Saint. He was cool, down to earth brother. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, I think they had ran out of paper towels, so my hands were still a little damp. So we shook hands. I know he's probably like, bro, why your hands wet? But he wasn't tripping on none of that. And, we was just vibing. Wife, man, cool. Energy was cool. Everything was great. You know what I'm saying? Took pictures and whatnot. And then, in a crazy way, how I say, was InvestFest worth it for me to give you that entire story, just to bring it back full circle? Because in that moment, I probably had at least 5 questions ready to rattle off, and I didn't plan to have any questions rattled off. I didn't have any intentions on meeting anybody, let alone Chris Saint. But we was just talking, conversing, had questions and whatnot, and then before we had split off, I was just like, I gotta do this. So immediately pull my phone out, bring up FaceTime, and then I called my classmate that gave me the game and the jewels about what he had said, because that information right there, that basically completed my journey as far as learning everything up until that point. I have a notebook or a journal to where I wrote down 21 mistakes that I made in the past 21 months while on this journey. And the information that he gave me, that was the jewel that ended everything. So get him on FaceTime, and as soon as he picks up the phone, I'm like, now I hope he picks up the phone. Like, please let him pick up the phone. He picks up the phone and immediately face lights up. He's like, bro, what? Like, what's going on? The whole 9 X, Y, and Z, because he still watches them to this day to get information and stuff like that. And I was just able to connect them over the phone via FaceTime. And it was a dope moment, bro. Like, that was just a crazy full circle moment. I'm like, this is how the universe works. I'm like, this is crazy. But yeah, I was able to get them on. They talked for a little bit, you know what I mean? And it was loud up in there, so we didn't have headphones or nothing like that. But still, just to be able to, the fact that I was able to get him on the phone, FaceTime, and then, chop it up with him, sending him pictures that we took and stuff like that, and then converse with him about my journey, and then also to be able to ask him about his journey. And then the thing that really hit the most was that when he told me his journey, and I told him my journey, our journeys were adjacent in nature as far as how long we had been trying to teach ourselves this game, and then how much money we lost, just the mistakes that we made, everything. It was just clicking. But that's just how I knew it was real. I'm like, yo, this is crazy right now. But I say that to say that, for a long time, going through journeys like this by yourself, just in general, it's gonna be hard. And it's no other way around it. It's gonna be hard. Nobody's really gonna believe in you. I mean, if you have somebody that believes in you, great. But I mean, even if you don't believe in yourself, because that's the last person that you have to believe in you, and as long as you believe in you, you can accomplish anything. But that moment right there, it did a multitude of things, not just for me, but not just for my classmate, but I'm hoping for Chris Sane too, just so he knows that he has people out here that's watching his material, watching his content, has received jewels and gems, and have been able to accumulate more money from trading because of the information that he puts out. And my classmate didn't have to pay for that information that he heard either. So that just tells you that the level and the extent that Chris Sane has, and the passion that he has for the game, and the passion that he has for wanting to truly put people like myself onto the game, and like my classmate. So yeah, I know a story like that is not gonna happen every single year at InvestFest, but I mean, until that story happens to you, I will highly encourage you all who's watching this just to attend. And it doesn't even have to be InvestFest, but I mean, the InvestFest, it just might increase the likelihood of something like this happening for you, because for once in your life, you're inside of a huge building with maybe like 5,000 plus people that have the same mindset as you do. So I know right now you're probably working your job or your 9 to 5 or whatever it is that you are. You're working in this area at this facility, uh, at this franchise. You're working, and you feel like you're the only one there because you're the only one that has this mindset. You're the only one that's watching the videos. You're the only one that's reading the books. You're the only one that's manifesting, that's praying for all the success that's to come your way, and it will come your way. Just keep your head up. I promise it'll come your way. It's coming my way. But yeah, I know you'll feel like you're alone, but don't forget, because it's something that I forgot, and it's that you're not crazy. Um, you're not crazy, and there's other people out here that's trying to do the same thing that you're doing. You know, just don't ignore the fact that there's other people around you that probably are not trying to do what it is that you're trying to do right now. It's gonna be times to where it's like that, but the more that you push, and keep going, it's gonna wind up to a point to where being around like-minded people for you, it's not going to be a rare occurrence. It's going to be an everyday thing, a part of your everyday schedule and your everyday norm. So, was InvestFest worth it? That's the story that I have. Y'all can follow me at Manifest Yours. Yeah, peace.